Hello everybody. Hello YouTube. Hello art history enthusiasts and visual culture aficionados. It's me again, Miss M, and I'm back with yet another video. Today, finally, I mustered up the strength to do this. It's been a heck of a day for me. I'm doing this like early Monday morning, so happy President's Day. I wanted to do it yesterday on Sunday, but I had some other stuff to do for work that I needed to take care of. And I have been having the worst like allergy thing going on today. Like my whole body just fought me every step of the way. When I wanted to do something, I had like a whole list of stuff to do. Just didn't have the energy. My sinuses said, no, sorry, you're going to have to sit down and lie down. But I did a couple of things for work. That's like, you got to do your stuff for work. Did, food stuff, food preparation. Didn't do much cleaning. Next week. But I'm just lying here, trying to fight off this allergy nonsense. Took some Benadryl. It cleared my sinuses, but now I have a headache, so I took some Advil, and like a couple seconds before I started recording, took some Advil. Let's hope it, usually takes about a half an hour for the Advil to take hold and like break up my headache, so let's hope for the best. But what am I doing today, now that I've told you about my allergies and whatever? I'm gonna finally do the non-alcoholic beverage video concerning The Shining, the non-alcoholic beverages that are featured in the movie. And here we are at my homepage, at the videos page. Okay, my latest one. I did this, I think, 22 hours ago, so last night. Understanding The Shining, Part 11, What's in Room 237? What's in there? And you guys have been awesome. The comments are awesome. I read every single one of them. I think I responded to a couple of them. Like I said, I was totally out of it today. Still out of it. Still waiting for the Advil to kick in. I got some nasal spray. Might try that too. Who knows? But yeah, what is in room 237? I still don't know. I mean, I just don't know, y'all. I just don't know. But your comments have been freaking awesome. Maybe I should do another viewer mail just so I can address all of the awesome comments in one place. And, I like the fact that I do this kind of an interactive way. I've never done a live video, and I don't think I ever will. Because my schedule is not conducive to that. Because when my time for having, like, when I do have time and energy and everything to do something like that, it's like way too late for most people. It's like way past everybody's bedtime. So I don't know. I don't think so. But I still like to make this interactive. Your comments are awesome, and your contributions are awesome. And maybe like I got Gershom, I got your message. I don't know if I'll be open to doing like a round table kind of thing, but like, I don't know, like, could we start a Discord or something? I don't know, like that, that sounds fun to me. Like, think about it, you, me, anybody who like maybe wants to do it. I don't have any experience with Discord, but I can look it up. Like, I've been researching what to do about my blog, and like I want to switch it over to a platform that's a lot easier to manage and a lot cheaper. So I'm kind of thinking about doing my blog on Weebly. Y'all let me know if you have any suggestions. But we're doing the non-alcoholic beverage video today. Let me get the church announcements out the way, just cause. And my church announcement is gonna flip over to my community page. I found this thing when I was doing this for the non-alcoholic beverage video. Y'all, I haven't seen this in the stores, but then again, I don't buy very much alcohol, so there's no danger of me ever becoming an alcoholic. I just don't like the taste of alcohol. But, y'all, new viewers, thank you for being new. Returning viewers, thank you for returning. Subscribers, all of you, all 342 of you, thank you so much for subscribing. Please, all of you, do it while you're listening to me just kind of blather on at the beginning. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share, with emphasis on the liking part. Push me out there into the algorithm. So, I've been talking with Exorcist Reviews. Okay. And I'm not going to say what we were talking about because, like, it's not, like, terribly private, or it's not a secret, but, like, I don't know how Exorcist Reviews feels. But me personally, I really feel like YouTube is very unkind towards smaller channels. And again, it might be my bitterness. This might be just sour grapes on my part. I don't know. But, like, I feel they make it very, very difficult for just ordinary people like me. And, like, some of you guys, like a lot of you guys, actually, that I communicate with, and you have your own channels. Exorcist Reviews has his own thing going on YouTube. So does Tankard. So does Anno Domini. So does Dr. Luke. And, like, I've got a lot. I've got plenty of watch hours. I've got over 4,000 watch hours, but I'm only at 342 subscribers. Like, I know that the stuff that I do is not for everybody. I know a lot of people are going to be bored by my videos, but the fact that I have over 4,000 watch hours, but not 1,000 subscribers, which is what you need to get monetized, I don't know what to think. I don't know what to think. I just really don't. Maybe, I don't know. I was talking to somebody and they said, make a cooking video. Those always do well. Jesus Christ. Yeah. Make a cooking video? Oh, I don't know about that. But you guys, thank you so much for subscribing. Every single last one of you. It means a great deal to me. I just like to know. I like knowing that people are into this and that we're all kind of on the same wavelength, and we're pondering this similar questions about not just The Shining, not just Eraserhead, but just art, life, learning, and etc. in general. That, like, does it for me. I'm at the community tab. I did a couple of posts today. I did this the other day. I'm still like, oh, this is beautiful. I really like this photo. I put Bob Dylan, Isis. It's really quite an interesting song. And this one does have the lyrics. On the bottom of the screen, you'll see the lyrics. I put Metallica, Creeping Death. And I put it, this is track 4 for my art history playlist. There should be, by the time I'm done, gosh, maybe about 30 or so tracks. Okay? And I'm doing this for a reason. Now, I put this one today, Metallica, Creeping Death, especially because it will have to do with what we talk about in the non-alcoholic beverage list for The Shining. And I put this, of course, because this combines an alcoholic beverage that is featured in The Shining and a non-alcoholic beverage. So Jack Daniels and Coca-Cola. I don't know, like, I didn't read the article. It's one of my articles that I got prepped for you. But I asked you, like, would you drink this? Would you go and get this? Because I just don't know. I don't know if I would want a prepackaged, like, cocktail. Is Jack and Coke considered a cocktail, or just, like, spiked Coca-Cola? I don't know what to think. But you guys let me know about that. I would love to, like, see your opinion. I don't know if I should do a poll. I don't have enough subscribers to do a poll. But 5% alcohol. Ooh. Well, that's interesting. Y'all let me know. Jack and Coke. In a can. We love our cans, don't we? But let me get started with this. Let me get going with this as my headache is raging, like, in my forehead. My goodness. My basis for this video, because I just couldn't be bothered to go through the whole movie with a pencil and a pad of paper and like spot all of the brands. Thankfully, ice cream has done that for us, and this is the list of brands featured in The Shining, and there are how many? 58, according to ice cream. And of course, I wasn't looking for all this stuff. I was just looking for non-alcoholic beverages. They've got the alcohol, the Booths, the Gordons, the Tio Pepe. I didn't know about this one. Uncle Pepe, really? Baking soda. Didn't know. I didn't notice the baking soda. They even put the Louisville Slugger that first seen on the couch in the lobby by Jack. Well, that's interesting. Smirnoff, and so on and so forth. So, I don't know. I might do food too. Who knows? Now I got another idea. Lord. But yeah, I was just interested in the non-alcoholic beverages. So, I've got them like all lined up, okay, in Wikipedia articles for each one. First one, Coca-Cola. Second one, 7-Up. Third one, Maxwell House. And it's not just Maxwell House, it's Maxwell House that like just coffee in general, but also, where's the thing? Maxwell House, like Cafe Vienna. If you remember, I'll get to it when I get to it, but you remember those wonderful like cappuccino mixes, and it was like the powdered milk and the coffee all together, and you just mix it with hot water or hot milk. I guess you could do that too. And I liked them, but I was a little girl when I drank these, so I don't know if I would like it now. I might just have to get some at the store and see whether or not I would still be into it. We'll see. This one, yep. Ha! There they are. Thank God. This is going to be fun too. Each of these is fun too. There's a brand called, where is it on this freaking thing? Robert's Milk. So that goes back to 1938. It's a drink brand. It's not really a drink brand, but it's a dairy, like milk. And they have it. They have it here. Okay. And I think the reason that Stanley really wanted this here is because of the color of the carton, but that's just me. Okay. And I couldn't find anything about them. That's why I just used this picture. Treetop, apple juice. Okay. Country Time, lemonade. Okay. And Kool-Aid. Yep. Kool-Aid. And last but definitely not least, Tang. Alright. So these are all the non-alcoholic beverages that I could find listed in the ice cream's list of brands. And Sprite, this is the brand of the Snowcat. It's not the drink. Apparently he's settled on 7-Up. I guess like 7-Up and Sprite is the same thing as the rivalry between Pepsi and Coke. Like whatever. So let me just get started, right? Coca-Cola. I'm not going to read this whole thing. No, I don't have that kind of time or energy or like strength. No, but we all know this brand. We're Americans. Well, not all of us. I know a lot of my viewers and listeners are from outside of the United States. You guys probably drink Coca-Cola too. It's been around for a long time. It's an international company. It's all over the world. I've been overseas. Yeah, it's over there. Originally, oh Lord, look at this. As it says here, in 2013, Coke products were sold in over 200 countries worldwide, with consumers drinking more than 1.8 billion company beverage servings each day. This isn't like my favorite soda. Don't talk to me about Pepsi. Don't even mention Pepsi. That's just the kind of person I am. Yes, I love me some Coca-Cola. And we're about to figure out possibly why. It was originally marketed as a temperance drink. You guys. You know what the temperance movement was. It was the anti-alcohol people. But and intended as a patent medicine. Oh Lord. Oh. Okay, so this was like an over-the-counter medicine? Okay. It was invented in the late 19th century by John Stith Pemberton in Atlanta, Georgia. In 1888, Pemberton sold Coca-Cola's ownership rights to Asa Griggs Candler, a businessman whose marketing tactics led Coca-Cola to its dominance of the global soft drink market through the 20th and 21st century. Y'all, interesting, right? To me it is, anyway. The drink's name refers to two of its original ingredients, coca leaves and cola nuts, a source of caffeine. The current formula of Coca-Cola remains a closely guarded trade secret. However, a variety of reported recipes and experimental recreations have been published. Why are people out there trying to make, like, a dupe for Coca-Cola? I mean, and is it even I mean, I don't know the law. I don't know the law. But is it even legal for them to keep the ingredients a secret? Like, I mean, I know there's like a couple of different companies who do this. Like Coca-Cola is one of them. KFC is Kentucky Fried Chicken is another one. Those 11 secret herbs and spices. Okay, but if you ask me, oh my goodness, I'm gonna sound like a terrible person, but that's never stopped me before. Like, I can't deal with KFC or Popeyes or any of these like fried chicken places. They used to be great. They used to be so delicious. Kentucky Fried Chicken, all these places, like the fried chicken used to be pretty good everywhere you went. Now, I can't even look at it. It's too salty. It's like over fried. When it's been a long time, but like the last time every time I went, before I stopped completely going to like KFC and places like that, it just felt like they were serving me old chicken, or like, yesterday's chicken that they just dipped in the oil again and heated up. And no, I can't eat that. And I'd be thirsty all day. For the rest of the day, after eating, I'd be like, oh Lord, no. I need to drink like a gallon of Coke or like lemonade or something, or just water, just to wash all that salt out of my mouth. Golly. Food, I don't know. If you're not, maybe it's not the entire United States. Maybe it's just where I am. Southern California, LA, like the quality of food has declined in the last 40 years. Okay? It's not good. It's not good. Wherever you go. Like the last good meal I had in like a chain establishment was El Pollo Loco. That was pretty good. The chicken was pretty good. But everywhere else, it's hard for me. I don't like McDonald's. I don't like fast food. I'm sorry. In-N-Out, pretty good. Still pretty good. But like let me just get off that tangent. But anyway, the secrecy around the formula has been used by Coca-Cola in its marketing, as only a handful of anonymous employees know the formula. What about the government? Does the government know? Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Okay, so now, so we know about Coca-Cola. It's been around for a long, long time. Not forever, but it's been around since when? Does it say here? 1886? Is it 86? I think so. All right. And I'm just going to jump straight to the medicinal application. Listen. I don't know what to think about this, but Coca-Cola is sometimes used for the treatments of gastric phytobezoars. In about 50% of cases studied, Coca-Cola alone was found to be effective in gastric phytobezoar dissolution. Oh. Well, that's nice. That's good. The treatment can, however, result in the potential of developing small bowel obstruction. Okay, well, all right. Oh, Lord, what is this? Oh, Lord, 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 Lord. Hold on. Criticism. Criticism of Coca-Cola has arisen from various groups concerning a variety of issues, including health effects, environmental issues, and business practices. The drink's coca flavoring and the nickname Coke remain a common theme of criticism due to the relationship with the illegal drug cocaine. In 1911, the U.S. government seized 40 barrels and 20 kegs of Coca-Cola syrup in Chattanooga, Tennessee, alleging the caffeine in its drink was injurious to health, leading to amended food safety legislation. Okay. The caffeine. Okay. I don't know what to think about that. I really don't know what to think about that. That's ridiculous. I mean, have these people never heard of coffee? What is wrong here? Something doesn't make sense about that to me. But, so people have been criticizing Coca-Cola for a long time. Colombian death squad allegations. I don't know about this one. This is hilarious. I mean, not hilarious, but what? Oh, you could read this on your own, but I'm not here for this. This is about The Shining, right? Why is this featured in The Shining? Like, it's according to Coke, soft drink seen first in Boulder. I have to review that again. I'm going to take their word for it for now, but I don't know. I really don't know. I'm gonna have to take a look at it. From, oh my goodness, from 1886 to 1959, the price of Coca-Cola was fixed at 5 cents, in part due to an advertising campaign. I wish it was still 5 cents. I wish anything was still 5 cents. Like, that's never gonna happen again. But yeah. So, this designer bottles, okay. So this company has been around for a long time. There's the brand portfolio, the geographic spread. Okay, there. The coca leaf. Okay. Use of stimulants and formula. Listed ingredients. Carbonated water, sugar, sucrose or high fructose corn syrup, depending on country of origin. Okay, yeah, like that's what I do. I like to get the Mexican Coca-Cola because they're the ones who use regular sugar rather than corn syrup. And yes, you can taste the difference. And yes, it's more expensive. So there's that. Caffeine, phosphoric acid, caramel color, and this mystery listing, natural flavorings. Okay. All right. Formula of natural flavorings there. Okay, what is the natural flavorings? Listen. The exact formula of Coca-Cola's natural flavorings, but not its other ingredients, which are listed on the side of the bottle or can, is a trade secret. The original copy of the formula was held in Truist Financial's main vault in Atlanta for 86 years. Its predecessor, the Trust Company, was the underwriter for the Coca-Cola Company's initial public offering in 1919. On December 8, 2011, the original secret formula was moved from the vault at SunTrust Banks to a new vault containing the formula, which will be on display for visitors to its World of Coca-Cola Museum in downtown Atlanta. According to Snopes, a popular myth states that only 2 executives have access to the formula, with each executive having only half the formula. However, several sources state that while Coca-Cola does have a rule restricting access to only 2 executives. Each knows the entire formula, and others, in addition to the prescribed duo, have known the formulation process. Okay, cool. Use of stimulants. This is what I'm interested in. When launched, Coca-Cola's 2 key ingredients were cocaine and caffeine. The cocaine was derived from the coca leaf, and the caffeine from the cola nut, also spelled cola nut at the time. Well, you see what I mean. Leading to the name Coca-Cola. Coca leaf. Pemberton called for 5 ounces of coca leaf per gallon of syrup. A significant dose in 1891. Candler claimed his formula, altered extensively from Pemberton's original, contained only 1/10 of this amount. Coca-Cola once contained an estimated 9 milligrams of cocaine per glass. For comparison, a typical dose or line of cocaine is 50 to 75 milligrams. Okay. In 1903, it was removed. After 1904, instead of using fresh leaves, Coca-Cola started using spent leaves, the leftovers of the cocaine extraction process, with trace levels of cocaine. Since then, by 1929, Coca-Cola has used a cocaine-free coca leaf extract. Today, that extract is prepared at a Stepan Company plant in Maywood, New Jersey, the only manufacturing plant authorized by the federal government to import and process coca leaves, which it obtains from Peru and Bolivia. Stepan Company extracts cocaine from the coca leaves, which it then sells to Mallinckrodt, the only company in the United States licensed to purify cocaine for medicinal use. Okay. Long after the syrup had ceased to contain any significant amount of cocaine, in North Carolina, dope remained a common colloquialism for Coca-Cola, and dope wagons were trucks that transported it. Oh my goodness. Well, that's interesting. Then it talks about the cola nut, which, again, is not really why I'm here. I'm here for this, the coca leaf thing. And I found a couple of articles. This is from the DEA Museum. Okay, this is like an old ad. Tired? Then drink Coca-Cola. It relieves exhaustion. When the brain is running under full pressure, send down to the fountain for a glass of Coca-Cola. You will be surprised how quickly it will ease the tired brain, soothe the... This is smudged, so I can't read it. I guess razzled. Maybe, nerves, and restore wasted energy to both mind and body. It it enables the entire system to readily cope with the strains of any excessive demands made upon it. Okay. So it's still in there, you guys. They still use coca leaves to this day to make Coca-Cola, but they're decocainized, allegedly. Now I'm going to leave the link for this too. The reason why I enlarged this so much is because there are other pictures on this website that have to do with cocaine, and they feature people using it, and I don't want to get in trouble with YouTube. So that's why I enlarged this so much, just so you could see the old ad. And again, they reiterate what I just read at Wikipedia about the, the process of, they still use the leaves, but they, I guess, clean them up, which is interesting. I didn't know that they still use that. Maybe that's why I like it so much. Anyway, there's this too. This is from Business Insider. See the New Jersey factory where cocaine is removed from the ingredients of Coca-Cola. And now you saw this. Okay, you saw this here. And then this is the full version of the ad, I guess. Same thing but it shows these guys. I guess they're at work. They look like they're working. Like, I don't know where they work. They seem like they're working at maybe a printing press or something like that. And they're taking their little Coke to give them energy so they can keep working all day. Interesting. So I'll leave this in the description too, right? This is so interesting. I didn't know that Coke. I mean, I knew about the Coke. I knew about the Coke in the Coke, but I didn't know that they still use those leaves. They just have them decocainized. Like, Jesus. What in the world? What in the world? And then there's also this one. I found this on CNBC. The Jack and Coke in a can. Coca-Cola and Brown-Forman team up for a new drink. And this is an article from June of last year, 2022. They're going to launch it in Mexico in late 2022 and then expand to other markets. I don't know. I don't know what to think of this one. I put it here. This intrigued me just because Jack Daniels is prominently featured in the movie, and I guess so is Coca-Cola. And I haven't gone through the movie with a fine-tooth comb regarding Coca-Cola, but the only time I remember seeing Coca-Cola was in the lobby of the Overlook Hotel when they just get there and Jack is reading. He's having a sandwich and he's reading his Playgirl magazine. And there's a can of it on the table in between the two chairs. Like, he's sitting in one chair and there's another chair. And there's a little table in between, and that's where I see the can of Coca-Cola. But I don't see it in the kitchen. Or the dry goods room. Or, like, wherever they keep their beverages, which, I don't know, they keep, like, a whole thing, like, pallet or whatever of 7-Up in that green hallway. So, and yeah, we're going to talk about 7-Up too. But I don't know what to think, you guys. You all let me know. And like I said, I put this here for your consideration. Would you drink this? I don't know if I should even, like, think about getting one of those. But that's just me. Coca, and again, since we're talking about this, right? And I'm looking at this ad, and of course the first thing I think of is Faith No More and the song The Real Thing from the album of the same name. Is that what Mike Patton was talking about? That song. Anyway, so they put the Coke next to Jack in the lobby, from what I can remember. Does that mean that Jack is the one who's into that? I don't know. You all let me know what you think. I've got a lot more beverages to go through, so let me know what you think. There's still, now you know, there's still coca leaf extract in it. It's just not gonna make you, feel good or anything. I don't know what to think. Is that why Stanley put it there? And is that why he put it next to Jack? I'm gonna have to, keep an eye out for it now. Sheesh. Okay, never mind. Next drink. 7-Up. Oof, this is gonna be a good one. I'm gonna have to take a quick break. My headache isn't really letting up, and my top row of teeth are hurting from my sinuses. So let me just take a minute and rally. So hold on, you guys. Okay, I'm back. I actually had to try my new allergy nasal spray, and it looks like it works, you guys. If it works the second time, I will let you know what it is that I'm using. Since we were talking about Coca-Cola. I had to spray something up my nose to get rid of my sinus pressure, and it worked. So again, if you want the brand, let me know. Let's keep it moving. For this, we already did the Coke. Let's do some 7-Up now. 7-Up, you all know, in the movie you see 7-Up in the hallway. Those crates of it that are stacked up in the green hallway. And we see those 7-Up bottles in those 7-Up crates like a couple times in the movie when they're at the Overlook Hotel. Now, the reason that I always kind of zoomed in on 7-Up is because I was told a long time ago that 7-Up contained lithium. Okay? Lithium is medication. Okay, it is lithium citrate is here. As you can see what the little box says, lithium citrate is a chemical compound of lithium and citric acid that is used as a mood stabilizer in psychiatric treatment of manic states and bipolar disorder. There is extensive pharmacology of lithium, the active component of this salt. Okay, so 7-Up, as it says here, is an American brand of lemon-lime flavored, non-caffeinated soft drink. The brand and formula are owned by Koybridge, I pronounce things correctly, Koybridge Dr. Pepper, although the beverage is internationally distributed by PepsiCo. So the history of this stuff is a little bit, it's kind of interesting. It was introduced in 1929, as you can see on the sidebar here, 93 years ago. Okay, and its country of origin is the United States. It's usually colorless, but there is like a pink version, cherry, diet cherry. I used to love that stuff. Maybe I should get some at the store. I don't know. We shall see. But it says here in the history section, 7-Up was created by Charles Leiper Grigg, who launched his St. Louis-based company, the HOWDY Corporation, in 1920. Exorcist reviews, I hope you're listening. Remember from The Exorcist, Captain Howdy? And, I mean, I didn't know that it was originally called the HOWDY Corporation. No. But as it says, this corporation existed in 1920, and then this Grigg person came up with the formula for a lemon-lime soft drink in 1929. So that's, I guess, the birth date or the birth year of 7-Up as we know it, I guess. The product, originally named Bib Label Lithiated Lemon-Lime Soda, was launched 2 weeks before the Wall Street crash of 1929. It contained lithium citrate, a mood-stabilizing drug, until 1948. I'm told that in other parts of the world, like Africa, it still has lithium in it. Don't quote me. That's what I was told. So, if the only way that I'm lying is if the person who told me that is lying. So there's that. It was one of a number of patent medicine products popular in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. Its name was later shortened to 7-Up Lithiated Lemon Soda, before being further shortened to just 7-Up by 1936. And if you're, I don't know how to put this, but I don't know how to put this like in a way that it doesn't sound ridiculous, but if your parents are immigrants, if you're, from an immigrant family, for some reason I've noticed in my own upbringing and other families that are similar to mine, there was always 7-Up. There was always 7-Up in the house. I don't know why. I guess, it wasn't really considered a medicine, but, it was just always there. I don't know why. Anyway, the origin of the revised name is unclear. Britvic, who's Britvic? Oh, Lord. Oh, this is a British producer of soft drinks. Okay. Britvic claims that the name comes from the 7 main ingredients in the drink, while others have claimed that the number was a coded reference to the lithium contained in the original recipe, which has an atomic mass of 7. Okay. Britvic also claims that the name alluded to 7-Up 7-ounce bottles when Coca-Cola and most other soft drinks were bottled in 6-ounce bottles. Interesting. The 7-Up company was privately owned by its founding families until it was sold in 1978 to Philip Morris, which sold it in 1986 in 2 parts, the international division to PepsiCo and the U.S. business to a group led by the investment firm Hicks & Haas. In the U.S., 7-Up merged with Dr. Pepper in 1988. Cadbury Schweppes bought the combined company in 1995. Okay, whatever. I'm not really concerned with that. I'm concerned with the lithium. Okay? So, again, me and Tankard we've been cutting it up in those DMs and like trying to figure out like all this stuff. We haven't discussed Coca-Cola. We've discussed Tang, Kool-Aid, and of course 7-Up. And again, I don't know if I should say this. I don't, Tankard, forgive me if you don't want, I don't know. I don't think that Tankard would have a problem with this, but like we're kind of, well, especially Tankard. Now, this isn't me. This is Tankard. And I don't know what to think about this yet, but it's an intriguing possibility. Tankard is maybe speculating that possibly the Overlook Hotel is really an asylum, and that's why we have 7-Up there. Like, it represents the lithium that would be doled out in a place that's used to house people who have psychiatric issues. I don't know. And that might also be the reason why they're always talking about this maze. I don't know. I just don't know. Interesting idea, though. But this lithium thing, it's obviously, I mean, that's the only thing that's interesting about 7-Up. You know what I mean? Kind of like Coca-Cola. Like, the really interesting thing about Coca-Cola is its history with cocaine. So now we have 2 soft drinks featured in the movie that the original formula, the original recipe, contained things that it just would not be acceptable for them to contain in the modern world, even as far back as the 1970s. So, that's that. What does it say here about consumption? Oh, Lord. Hold on. Oh, yeah. Okay, I'll read this a little bit, and then I'll move on to the article. 7-Up is commonly consumed cold, refrigerated, or with ice. It is also used as a mixer for highball. Yeah, I remember these. For highball alcoholic lemon lime soda cocktails, including the 7 and 7, Seagram's 7 Crown and 7-Up, and the CC and 7, Canadian Club Whiskey and 7-Up. 7-Up is also used in both alcoholic and non-alcoholic punches. You guys, if you were born in the 70s, in the 80s, you remember this 7 and 7 stuff. Like, yes, my parents made this for their friends. That was the only reason to like even have Seagram's 7 Crown lying around. It was I of course I didn't drink any when I was little, but like I remember the smell. It smelled like turpentine. Ew. Do we have Seagram's on this list? I don't remember reading about Seagram's here, but I don't know. I suppose Jack Daniels would be a good enough substitute if you wanted that kind of drink. But anyway, there's that, okay? But again, I'm still concentrating on the lithium, not the 7-on-7. I found this article. This is a really interesting article. And I found my thumbnail in this article. A history of 7-Up told through 14 fascinating ads. This looks like a fun website. It's called Decades, Relive, Remember, Relate. So this was posted a couple of years ago, 2019. And whenever I see Don Rickles somewhere, I already know it's going to be good. So it was launched in 1929, a matter of days before the Great Wall Street crash that kicked off the Great Depression. Bad timing for a product launch. Then again, perhaps not. In its earliest incarnation, 7-Up, then sporting the less zippy name of bib label lithiated lemon lime soda, was a mood-altering drug. Literally. One of the ingredients was lithium citrate, a compound used to stabilize bipolar patients. It was a different era. I kind of wish you could still get it that way. I mean, of course I don't want very large doses of lithium in the 7-Up, but like maybe just a teensy-weensy little bit. That would be okay, wouldn't it? I don't know. From its nascent pharmaceutical days through the boomer boom of cola wars and into the modern era, 7-Up has continually altered its image. Its advertising has included babies, a James Bond villain, Wonder Woman, and a red circle wearing sunglasses. Let's take a tour through some of the most memorable 7-Up print ads. Interesting. It says, here's a phrase you'll never see on a soda ad again, for hospital or home use. Note the slenderizing claims, too. It took the ouch out of grouch. Oh, dear. So that's just left growling? I don't know. 7-Up settles the stomach for hospital or home use. Lithiated lemon soda. The added citrate neutralized free acid. The sugar is inverted. Burns clean. 7-Up is more than a mixer. It blends out the harsh features. Dispels hangovers. Take the ouch out of grouch. Interesting. So this, it doesn't say when this is from. Is this from 19... No. This one below it is 1950s. So, interesting. Lithium citrate was removed from the formula in 1950, around the time of this ad in the Saturday Evening Post. For years, the campaign had used the slogan, "Fresh Up, Keep Smiling." In the 1950s, this was shaved to "Fresh Up." Okay. All right. Interesting. You like it, it likes you. Oh, wow. Ugh. Okay. Fresh Up, the all-family drink with 7-Up. My goodness. Look at this. Look at this. This idyllic scene. From when? It doesn't say. Does it say? No. But it's probably 1950s. And then this one with the baby. Oh my God. This ad suggests mothers add 7-Up to baby's milk in equal parts. Okay. This baby's just throwing it back. I mean... Oh my goodness, no. What in the world? We're never going to see ads like this again. This says here, this young man is 11 months old, and he isn't our youngest customer by any means, so they told people to give this to their babies. Oh my, well, I mean, back in the day, if it was made with real sugar, you know, and I guess after they took the lithium out of it, I guess that wouldn't be so bad. I don't know. Oh, they gave children coffee back in the day, so what are we talking about? This 1960s ad. Oh, it's a couple of teenagers talking on the phone. Okay. Then this one. Okay. Ice cream floats. Perfect for boys and girls to share with 2 straws on a date. Oh, how darling. Okay. And I guess, is this meant to... are they advertising to the African American community here? I don't know, but this ice cream idea sounds great. Boys like girls who make 7-Up floats. Well, okay. Does it have a recipe? I kind of want to try this, like strawberry ice cream, maybe some mint ice cream. I don't know. We shall see. At least I didn't know that, like, researching The Shining and Eraserhead, I would find so many recipes that I want to try. This 1963 ad is very 1963. Need alley-oop. I guess they're bowling. Oh, gosh. Jesus Christ. Why is she bent over? For God's sake. I'm sorry. I just can't. In the 1970s, now they've gone diet, sugar-free. Okay. And then, here's Rickles and Wonder Woman. Look who's turning Diet 7 up. Ooh. Jesus Christ. This would be awesome. Just hanging out by the pool with Don Rickles. He would read the hell out of me. Okay. 7-Up, the speed of light. Lord. Jeffrey Holder, not long after playing Baron Samedi in the Bond movie Live and Let Die, starred in television ads pitching the Uncola and was forever linked to the... Okay. All right, cool. What else? Crisp and clean with no caffeine. Don't you feel good about 7-Up? And there he is. I guess this is him. Jeffrey Holder. Sports stars. Oh, this takes me back. Magic Johnson, George Brett, Mike Schmidt, and Sugar Ray Leonard. There they are, feeling 7-Up. My goodness. And then I guess this is the last one with the sunglasses. My goodness. Okay, so I'm gonna put this in the description, so check it out if you'd like to. Like I said, I really want to try this 7-Up float. That sounds delicious, especially when it gets really hot, you know. But this is my thumbnail, the lithiated thing. So what's next? Maxwell House. This one, you might be surprised by this one. I know I was. It's featured, yes, Maxwell House. There's plenty of Maxwell House coffee featured in The Shining. And Maxwell House is an American brand of coffee manufactured by a like-name division of Kraft Heinz. Also, since they mentioned that, like, notice all the Heinz products in the dry goods room in The Shining, in the Overlook Hotel. Like, wow. Like, all these food companies, like me and my grocery stores, when I walk around and whatever, are all those companies basically owned by, like, the same entity? Is that really what's going on? I don't know. But if you guys know, let me know. Tell me. But there's Maxwell House, just the plain old Maxwell House coffee. And then there's Maxwell House International, which makes Cafe Vienna, which, again, if you remember those from back in the day, it was launched in the early 1970s as General Foods International Coffee, a brand belonging to what was then General Foods. The first 3 flavors at launch were Café au lait, later renamed to Café Francais, Swiss Mocha, and Café Vienna. I love these. They sold in those small little rectangular tins, and they were marketed as a premium product and remained a strong seller through the 90s. Now I want to go buy some. What in the world is wrong with me? And I think they were especially marketed to women. Don't quote me, but it just seemed like it. It seemed like, kind of a sweet, coffee flavored hot beverage. But, like, you could also use the powder to make, like, shakes or other beverages, maybe milkshakes, maybe like a frappe or whatever. Good stuff, really good stuff. But I'm just including this Maxwell House International because it contains the Café au lait thing, or the Café Vienna thing. Okay, and they still sell it. I'm gonna check tomorrow. but it's not the same. Going back to Maxwell House. Okay, so Maxwell House is the parent company of all of this. Now, I guess before it was General Foods, but it's an American brand of coffee manufactured by a like-named division of Kraft Heinz in North America and JDE Peet's in the rest of the world. Introduced in 1892 by wholesale grocer Joel Owsley Cheek, it was named in honor of the Maxwell House Hotel in Nashville, Tennessee, which was its first major customer. For nearly 100 years, until the late 1980s, it was the highest-selling coffee brand in the United States. The company's slogan is "Good to the last drop," which is often incorporated into its logo and printed on its labels. Maxwell House Coffee has been owned and produced by several companies, starting with Cheek's Company, Nashville Coffee and Manufacturing Company, then followed by General Foods and Kraft Foods, Inc. Okay. That's all interesting. That's all really cool. But that's not why I'm here. That's not what I discovered. Listen. The advertising campaigns are what I found extremely interesting about this. The lady that they used as an actress for the 1977 advertising as Cora was actress Margaret Hamilton. She played the Wicked Witch in The Wizard of Oz. There she is, yeah, Wizard of Oz. Print advertisement. This is the interesting part to me. Print advertisement. I'll read it out loud. Along with television advertising, Maxwell House used various print campaigns, always featuring the tagline "Good to the last drop." The publication of its Passover Haggadah by the Joseph Jacobs Advertising Agency beginning in 1932 made Maxwell House a household name with many American Jewish families. This was part of the marketing strategy by advertiser Jacobs, who also hired an Orthodox rabbi to certify that the coffee bean was technically not kitniyot. I hope I pronounced that correctly, because it was more like a berry than a bean, and was, consequently, kosher for Passover. Maxwell House was the first coffee roaster to target a Jewish demographic. The Maxwell House Haggadah was also the Haggadah of choice for the annual White House Passover Seder, which President Barack Obama conducted during his presidency from 2009 to 2016. Okay. Now you know especially why I wanted Metallica Creeping Death as one of my art history playlists. This song is talking about the Passover. Okay? Whether you knew it or not. It has the lyrics. If you want to listen, go ahead and listen and read the lyrics as the song plays. This is about the Passover. This is about everything, well, not everything to do, but like the main story, right? Now, of course, I opened this up. It has its own Wikipedia article. The Maxwell House Haggadah. I hope I'm pronouncing Haggadah correctly. It's the Maxwell House Haggadah is an English-Hebrew Passover Haggadah introduced by the Maxwell House Company as a marketing promotion in 1932 and printed continuously since that time. With over 50 million copies in print, it is the best known and most popular Haggadah among American Jews and is considered a cultural icon. It is used at Passover Seders in homes, schools, senior centers, prisons, and the United States Army, and was the edition used by President Obama and his guests at the White House Passover Seder, conducted yearly from 2009 to 2016. In 2011, a new English translation replaced archaic phrases in the original and also incorporated gender-neutral language. Now, like me, I'm not very educated at all about this kind of thing, which, you know, I regret. I wish I knew more about religions. That's something that I want to study, and I do try to study it from time to time, or just like look stuff up on the internet and see what I can learn about all kinds of different religions. Now I had to take a look at this. What is the Haggadah? The Haggadah is a Jewish text that sets forth the order of the Passover Seder. According to Jewish practice, reading the Haggadah at the Seder table is a fulfillment of the mitzvah to each Jew to tell their children the story from the book of Exodus about etc., and so on and so forth. Okay? And it says here, a Haggadah is a ritual Jewish text containing prayers, hymns, midrashic statements, and commentary on the on the story of Passover, the Jewish holiday celebrating the liberation of the Israelites from slavery in ancient Egypt. This text is recited by participants at a Passover Seder. The Haggadah has appeared in print since the 15th century, and thousands of editions have been published. Now, I could go on and on here. Okay, I've already been talking for an hour, but what I want to, what I kind of want to just really touch upon is, I think that's why Stanley used this Maxwell House. He could have used other coffee brands. There's plenty of coffee, and there were plenty of coffee brands around at the time. There still are. There's always Folgers. I don't know if U-Ban was around back then, but he could have chosen Folgers. He could have chosen, gosh, what's the other really popular one? Folgers, U-Ban, Maxwell House, MJB. Remember MJB, y'all? They were around back then. No, but he chose this one, and I think this might be why, because of obviously this is a famous thing that they do. They print this Haggadah, and they've been doing it since 1932. That's a long time, and it's so, influential, the fact that Maxwell House made this thing, that it was used in the White House. That's serious. That's very serious. And it has to do with Passover. What is Passover? I'm going to leave this in the description too for you to read. Passover, also called Pesach, is a major Jewish holiday that celebrates the biblical story of the Israelites' escape from slavery in Egypt, which occurs on the 15th day of the Hebrew month of Nisan. I hope I pronounced that right. The first month of Aviv, or spring. The word Pesach, or Passover, can also refer to the Korban Pesach. What is the Korban Pesach? The Passover sacrifice, also known as the Paschal Lamb or the Passover Lamb. You guys, remember when Danny said that he does not like lamb? When Halloran and Wendy and him were in the freezer, and Halloran is listing all the different meats and chicken and all the stuff, roasts and what have you, in the freezer, and he says lamb, and then he asks Danny, hey, do you like lamb? And Danny says no. And then he asks him, well, what is your favorite food? And he says French fries and ketchup. And I already covered that, but I don't know if I covered it in the context of Passover, because all of this is getting scrambled in my head. So Danny is basically saying, or somebody is saying to us, the filmmaker is saying, no, Danny does not want to be sacrificed. He does not want to be the sacrificial lamb. Okay, so he's going vegetarian. He says, no, I want French fries and ketchup. I know that sounds ridiculous, but and I also talked about it too when I did my video about not the Salvator Mundi, but when I did the Last Supper video. The Last Supper and the Christian Eucharist are inextricably tied to Jewish Passover. That's it, and that's all. Jesus was supposed to be the sacrificial lamb. Okay, and the Last Supper was a Seder. All right, so this is all tied together. I know. Where do we get this? Maxwell House coffee. Before I did the research for this video, I never even knew that Maxwell House made they published this book every year, is it? And it was part of their marketing campaign. Okay, cool. But, like, is this why Stanley chose it? Because it has to do with the Passover, because it has to, and the Passover has to do with sacrifices and lamb's blood, and the whole thing. Is that why? Maybe I've completely gone crazy. Maybe. And again, check out the Metallica song. What else? And that's all I'm going to say about that now. Again, I've already gone over an hour. I still got a couple more beverages to do. I'm going to try and find some Cafe Vienna at the store tomorrow. I gotta go again. I need potatoes. I need onions. Milk. Milk, half and half. Never mind. Let's go. The next one. Gershom. Rich in Law. Everybody. Sanka. Here it is. It has its own Wikipedia article. Sanka. And you're going to love this, you guys. Sanka is a brand of instant decaffeinated coffee sold around the world and was one of the earliest decaffeinated varieties. Okay? Sanka is distributed, of course, in the United States by Kraft Heinz. Like I said, are they all just one big company? I don't know. History. Decaffeinated coffee was developed in 1903 by a team of researchers led by Ludwig Roselius in Bremen, Germany. It was sold in Germany and many other European countries in 1905 to 1906 under the name Kaffee Hag, short for Kaffee Handelsaktiengesellschaft, or Coffee Trading Public Company. In France, the brand name became Sanka, derived from the French word sans and caffeine, without caffeine. The brand came to the United States in 1909 to 1910, where it was first marketed under the name Decaffa, or Decoffa, by an American sales agent. Okay. As I drink my own regular coffee, not decaffeinated, I can tell you that much. In 1914, Roselius founded his own company, Cafe Hag Corporation, in New York. When Cafe Hag was confiscated by the alien property custodian during World War I and sold to an American firm, Roselius lost not only his company, but also the American trademark rights to the name. To reestablish his product, he began to use the Sanka brand name in America. Well, that's interesting. In Europe, the Hag company used the Sanka brand in many countries, the Netherlands, Belgium, Germany, Switzerland, amongst others, as a cheaper alternative to the premium brand Coffee Hag. The brand disappeared in these countries after World War II, but it continued until the 1970s as the premium brand in France. First marketed in the U.S. in 1923, Sanka was initially sold only at 2 Sanka coffee houses in New York, but it soon was brought into retail. My goodness. My goodness. Who knew? Who knew that Sanka has been around since 1903? It was introduced to the U.S. exactly 100 years ago. Okay, cool. But 1903, these researchers were working on decaffeinated coffee. Okay, cool. And they, intensive advertising campaigns, and they were the sponsor of I Love Lucy, The Twilight Zone, The Andy Griffith Show in the 50s and 60s, and the Andy Griffith Show Sanka sponsor spots feature the cast members. It also was a sponsor of the Goldbergs, where on many episodes Mrs. Goldberg would address the camera and talk to the TV audience and tell them about Sanka coffee. After the sales pitch, she would walk away, usually from the window, and start the show. Oh, that sounds adorable. With such promotion, Sanka became a nationwide sales success, with General Foods Corporation taking over distribution in 1928. Wow. Since Sanka directly competed with its non-caffeine coffee substitute, Postum.
Ooh. The bright orange label that made Sanka easily identifiable to customers found its way into coffee shops around the country in the form of the decaf coffee pot. Okay, y'all, so I thought green meant decaf, but what do I know? This part is the cute part down here. Okay, in 1941, the 1941 Laurel and Hardy comedy Great Guns includes a scene in which Stan Laurel, in an army mess hall line, is handed a cup of coffee. He asks, "Sanka?" And the mess attendant replies, "You're welcome." Okay. Wow. I just don't know what to think. You're welcome. I mean, really. Whew. Mm, 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 Stan Laurel. Stan Laurel, that's the skinny one. Okay. Anyway, where else is it? In the song Bianca, in Cole Porter's 1946 musical comedy Kiss Me Kate, the lyric, "I would gladly give up coffee for Sanka," is included. Oh my goodness. Sanka is also mentioned in the 1982 film Fast Times at Ridgemont High, when science teacher Mr. Vargas declares, "Look, I'm a little slow today." I just switched to Sanka, so have a heart. It is revealed at the end of the film that Mr. Vargas switches back to coffee. Well, good for him. In the 1954 Ian Fleming novel Live and Let Die, James Bond orders Sanka for solitaire and himself. Bond ordered old fashions and stipulated old granddad bourbon, chicken sandwiches, and decaffeinated Sanka coffee so that their sleep would not be spoilt. Okay. From 1976 to 1982, veteran actor Robert Young was Sanka's television spokesman, appearing in a whole series of commercials. During the mid-'80s, a series of Sanka television commercials aired featuring Lena Horne. Okay. This is 1993. Okay. I'm not so much concerned with anything after the 1970s, but this is really cute, this last line here. In Season 1, Episode 4 of the 2022 television series Reboot, Paul Reiser's character, Gordon Gelman, finds an old jar of Sanka coffee in the office kitchen and asks, "Hey, does anyone know if Sanka expires?" That's exactly what we were discussing, okay, over here in the community. Okay, does it expire? Where's that old jar? There it is. Look at this. Look at the granules in this old jar, and then compare and contrast with the new one. It looks the same. Except, obviously, this jar is made of glass, and this is, everything's made of plastic nowadays. But you guys, I did not know. I did not know that Sanka was that popular. I mean, I knew it was everywhere, but I didn't know it had like this history and like all these advertisings on all these TV shows in the 50s and 60s. Oh my God. From like the 1920s onward. And I didn't know it was featured in a Laurel and Hardy movie. And I didn't know that James Bond drank Sanka. And you guys, this is interesting, isn't it? It's interesting. All right, and it was considered like good stuff. Like, why were these people so afraid of caffeine in the 50s and 60s and 40s especially? Like, wasn't everybody on speed? Like, why? They like those pills were okay, but caffeine? Oh, good heavens, no. We've got to switch to Sanka. Like, are they kidding? Were they kidding? I don't know. I just don't know. Let me move on to the other ones. I'm having a hoot, you guys. The Roberts milk. Again, I think that Stanley chose it just because of the color of the carton. Red, white, and blue. The milk matches basically Wendy. That's all I have to say about this. If you know anything more about Robert's milk, tell me. Okay? Home stretch. I'm going to take a tiny little break and then come back, and we're going to finish this. Treetop apple juice, Country Time lemonade, Kool-Aid, and last but not least, Tang. So hold on, you guys. I'll be right back. And I'm back. Hello. It should go. The video should go a little faster now that I've covered like all this stuff. Treetop apple juice, which we saw in the dry goods room, which is why I'm a little bit suspicious. Because they have beverages in the dry goods room. They made a point of showcasing Treetop apple juice. Like, why didn't they put the soda in there too? Like, they obviously have Coca-Cola, but we haven't seen any boxes or stacks of Coca-Cola. We've seen those 7-Up stacks, but they're in the hallway. Why are they not in the dry goods room? Because that seems like an hallway. That seems like an impractical place to keep them. But never mind. Also, one thing that I'll mention before I get going with the Treetop apple juice is the 7-Up. It has this iconic red dot that separates I guess it serves as a hyphen to separate the number 7 and the word up. I told you, red is an important color in this movie, and the 7-Up logo prominently features the color red. So there's that. Where was I? Oh yes, Treetop apple juice. I think that he features Treetop apple juice as opposed to maybe Mott's or whatever other brand of apple juice there might have been at the time, because of the name Treetop, and it is apple juice, so it's supposed to make you think of religion. Once again, the story of Genesis, the Garden of Eden, the tree of knowledge. That it's in some cases that's what it's called, and the forbidden fruit that grows on that tree. And for some reason, I don't know why, but they decided that it's an apple. Some sources say no, it wasn't an apple; it was a pomegranate. I don't know. Is there any? I don't know. Is there any source that says it might have been a fig tree? I know fig trees are also important, or I think fig trees are also important in the Bible, but don't quote me. But I think that's maybe why Stanley chose Treetop apple juice, because he wants you to think of the tree. And like I said, I think he's pointing to a couple of biblical things, like with the Maxwell House thing and the Haggadah and so on and so forth. And the Haggadah, of course, leads you to Passover, which leads you to the Passover lamb, or the sacrificial lamb. I wouldn't put it past him. And that's one of the reasons why I love this movie so much. It's like a gateway to knowledge, right? It's a gateway to, if you research all these various things, it's a gateway to learning about so many different things, including religion, including history, world history, American history, you name it. That's why I think it should be used in schools as a teaching aid. I really do. The movie, The Shining, I really do. But it says here, Treetop Inc. was the first grower-owned fruit processing cooperative in the United States. 1,100 apple and pear growers in Washington, Idaho, and Oregon own the cooperative, with the majority of the growers from Washington. Treetop was founded by Bill Charbonneau, who purchased an apple processing plant in Selah, Washington, after moving from Southern California with his family. In the 1950s, Charbonneau developed a brand of apple juice. A contest held among his employees led to choosing the name Treetop, due to the perception that the highest quality fruit grows at the tops of trees. Okay, I'm going to stop there. I don't see any kind of interesting information other than, again, you're reminded of the tree. And it's apple juice, so apple trees. That's why I think that Stanley chose this brand of apple juice. Moving on, Country Time Lemonade. This is turned out to be the one that has stumped me completely. Country Time is a brand of non-carbonated lemon-flavored drink mix and soft drink. The powdered mix is produced by Kraft Foods. Of course it is. Country Time Lemonade flavor drink mix was introduced in 1975, so when The Shining was made, it was still a relatively new product. It was introduced in 1975 by General Foods. Again, does one company own all of this stuff? My God. Over the years, various other flavors, including pink, raspberry, and strawberry lemonade were added. In 1981, A&W, okay, never mind all that. I'm not interested in anything after 1980, really. Country Time, NASCAR, no. So again, why it's there? It's there in the movie. Country Time Lemonade, big cans of it are there in the movie. Is it just because it's yellow? Like lemonade is yellow? Is he trying to make us remember the color of gold or the sun or I don't know, or that car? Okay, the yellow VW Beetle, it's yellow, just like Country Time Lemonade is. Is that why it's in the movie? And again, did he put it there? Like, at the time, I don't know, I haven't researched this, but were there any other lemonade powder drink mixes available at the time in the United States? That I don't know. No clue. No clue whatsoever. But, there's that. That's the Country Time Lemonade. You guys tell me. Let me know in the comments why you think he included Country Time Lemonade. Like I said, this is stumping me a little bit. So, any help would be appreciated by me and probably everybody else who reads the comments and watches my videos. Here we go with the Kool-Aid. Okay, Kool-Aid. Oh boy. It is an American brand of flavor drink mix owned again by Kraft Heinz, based in Chicago, Illinois. The powder form was created by Edwin Perkins in 1927, based upon a liquid concentrate called Fruit Smack. Okay, Fruit Smack. History, was invented by Edwin Perkins in Hastings, Nebraska. All of his experiments took place in his mother's kitchen. Its predecessor was a liquid concentrate called Fruit Smack. To reduce shipping costs, in 1927, Perkins discovered a way to remove the liquid from Fruit Smack, leaving only a powder. This powder was named Kool-Aid. Okay. Perkins moved his production to Chicago in 1931, and Kool-Aid was sold to General Foods in 1953. It looks like General Foods was like the precursor to Kraft, Heinz, and like whatever it is, whatever entity it is that owns all the food companies. My God. Hastings still celebrates a yearly summer festival called Kool-Aid Days on the second weekend in August in honor of their city's claim to fame. Kool-Aid is known as Nebraska's official soft drink. Wow. Wow, production, advertising, and promotion. I'm not really interested in any of this flavors. Like, yeah, come on. I'm not going to buy Kool-Aid at the grocery store. I'm sorry, I just can't. No, it's too much. No. In popular culture, this is the part that I think is interesting. Drinking the Kool-Aid is a phrase suggesting that one has mindlessly adopted a dogma of a group or a cult leader without fully understanding the ramifications or implications. The backdrop of this are events culminating in 1978, in the 1978 Jonestown Massacre. Okay. At Jonestown, Guyana, followers of Jim Jones's temple drank from a metal vat containing a mixture of quote-unquote Kool-Aid, cyanide, and prescription drugs Valium, Phenergan, and chloral hydrate. Present-day descriptions of the event sometimes claim the beverage was not as Kool-Aid, but Flavor Aid, a less expensive product from Gel Cert, reportedly found at the site. Kraft Foods, the maker of Kool-Aid, has stated the same. Yeah, they don't want to be associated with that shit. I mean, it's not funny to us. All those poor people died, but, you know, it's like it says here, drinking the Kool-Aid has become just part of the pop culture. When somebody says that so-and-so drank the Kool-Aid, like, you know what they mean. Implied by this accounting of events is that the reference to the Kool-Aid brand owes exclusively to its being better known among Americans. Others are less categorical. Both brands are known to have been among the commune's supplies. I wonder if their dry goods room looked like the dry goods room at the Overlook Hotel. Oh my God. Oof. I just don't know. I just don't know. There's also this other one here, down here. The Electric Kool-Aid Acid Test is a work of literary journalism by Tom Wolfe, depicting the life of Ken Kesey and the Merry Pranksters. The book's title is a reference to an acid test in Watts, California, where the pranksters spiked a batch of Kool-Aid with the psychedelic drug LSD in the 1960s. Okay, so Tankard, I don't know what to think. Is it... Now, we see here that year 1978, that's when the Jonestown Massacre happened, in November 1978. So, I guess The Shining was, like, in production at the time, right? Like, I think production, if I remember correctly, started in what, May of 1978? I could be wrong about that. I'm not about to go check any notes or anything. But so this event happened in 1978 November in French Guiana, not French Guiana, but in Guyana, in 1978. So it definitely would have been international news, and everybody would have known about it. Is that why Stanley included Kool-Aid in The Shining? Not just in the dry goods room at the hotel, but also in the kitchen in their apartment in Boulder. I don't know. There's the Kool-Aid acid test, the electric Kool-Aid acid test from the 1960s. I don't know. Acid is also... Is it tied to psychiatric issues? I'm not sure. You guys tell me in the comments. What do you think it is? Why do you think Stanley put Kool-Aid in not just the dry goods room, but also their apartment in Boulder and in the sink? There's like, and the top of the refrigerator. There's 3 cans, not envelopes, but cans of Kool-Aid. All the, the red flavors. And it's all red flavors in the dry goods room too. There's like no, blue Kool-Aid, or I think they have a lemon flavor. They have a lemon flavor. They probably have a green flavor and a purple flavor and a blue flavor. No, he put the red flavors. Okay, so you guys tell me what you think. Is it because of Jonestown, or is it because of the electric Kool-Aid acid test, or maybe both? You all tell me. You all tell me. And there's all these Kool-Aid products. My goodness. Yeah, I'm not going to buy any of that. But last but not least, finally, here we are. Tang. Okay. Tang is an American drink mix brand that was formulated again by General Foods scientist William A. Mitchell and General Foods Corporation chemist William Bruce James in 1957, and first marketed in powder form in 1956. The Tang brand is currently owned in most countries by Mondelez International, a 2012 North American company spun off from Kraft Foods. Kraft Heinz owns the Tang brand in North America. Of course they do. Sales of Tang were poor until NASA used it on John Glenn's Mercury flight in February 1962 and on subsequent Gemini missions. Since then, it has been closely associated with the U.S. human spaceflight program, which created the misconception that Tang was invented for the space program. Okay, so now we know 100% for sure that Tang was not created specifically for astronauts. Okay. We even have Buzz Aldrin down here. Isn't he a treasure? Although many soda companies sent specially designed canned drinks into space with the crew of the STS-51F, the crew preferred to use Tang as it could be mixed into existing water containers easily. In 2013, former NASA astronaut Buzz Aldrin said, "Tang sucks." Okay. The creator of Tang, William A. Mitchell, also invented Pop Rocks, Cool Whip, a form of instant set Jell-O, and other convenience foods. Chemist William Bruce James also invented several Jell-O flavors. So these two men are responsible for a lot of the foul food that people ate from the 1950s onward. Cool Whip. Wow, it's a main ingredient in a lot of American desserts for my international viewers and listeners. Yeah, I use it. I'm not proud of it, but I use it. I have a couple of recipes where my Jell-O cake, baby, that's perfect for summertime. Lemon lime. Jell-O cake with cream cheese and Cool Whip and powdered sugar. Oh, yes. Oh, absolutely. And I think that recipe has been around since like the 60s or 70s. My mother gave me the recipe, and somebody else gave it to her. So, thank you, Mr. Mitchell and Mr. James, for Pop Rocks. Not a fan. I've never really done Pop Rocks. But the same man who invented Tang invented basically all the gelatin dishes that we all hated from back in the day. Tang is noted for its advertising in the 1990s and early 2000s, which featured the orangutan as a... I don't remember the orangutan. Okay, never mind. Nutritional facts, like, please. Other versions. Okay, so they have like half the sugar with... Okay, never mind. Sales... Okay, I'm not interested in any of this information, but now we have dispelled the myth that it was invented specifically for astronauts. No, it was not. But I do want to draw your attention to this article that Tankard found. Okay, this is Tankard's research, not mine. It's called The Untold Truth of Tang. All right. Now, this is an interesting article. And you might say, okay, if it doesn't have to do with astronauts. And the reason I say it's associated with astronauts, but it wasn't made for space flight. Okay? And I say that because so many people, again, there's this theory running around that The Shining was Stanley Kubrick's confession about directing the moon landings, and that the moon landings were fake, and the astronauts drank Tang, and that's his way of kind of pointing you in that direction. I don't know. I just don't know. But this article that Tankard found, The Untold Truth of Tang, of course I'm going to put this in the description, while not as ubiquitous as it once was. Tang has been a fixture at breakfast tables throughout the world well over a half-century. Launched by General Foods in 1959, Tang simulated the experience of drinking fresh squeezed orange juice via the creation of a powder dubbed flavor crystals that could be mixed with water to create a juice-like beverage. The big selling point, as CNN pointed out, was that the powder was shelf-stable, meaning it could sit in a supermarket for far longer than actual orange juice, while containing even more vitamin C than the real thing. Heck, no less an authority than Brady Bunch mom Florence Henderson trumpeted the fact that Tang has a full day's supply of vitamin C in every glass in TV commercials. My God. Okay. Even though Tang may not be as popular in North America as it was during its peak in the 1960s and 70s, this powder-based drink continues to be a staple throughout the world. There's a lot more to this super convenient thirst quencher than meets the eye. To learn about the ins and outs of this drink's history, keep on reading to discover the untold truth of Tang. Okay, Tang was invented by the creator of Pop Rocks and Cool Whip. I already told you that, so I'm going to skip over that. It's a myth that Tang was developed for NASA. Already told you that too. However, it took NASA to make Tang cool. Okay, cool. We know that. Legendary. Okay, I already read that to you, that Tang sucks. Legendary astronaut Buzz Aldrin was not a fan of Tang. Okay. Tang's popularity faded in the US, but not overseas. Not so much concerned with that. Tang is still a valuable brand. I bet it is. The frightening reason Tang should only be consumed in moderation. Something to do with your liver. You can read this on your own time. There are some unusual flavors of Tang throughout the world. Okay. A new tax increased the price of Tang in the Philippines. Never mind, I don't care. Tang was used to... This is the one. This is the one. This is why Tankard sent me this article. Tang was used to treat heroin addiction, but there were unintended consequences. According to a 1972 paper published in the medical journal Annals of Internal Medicine, Tang had been part of an integral Tang had been an integral part of treating heroin addiction when combined with methadone, a less addictive synthetic opioid that served as a heroin substitute. As the paper explained, Tang was mixed with methadone and given to patients to drink in order to diminish their withdrawal symptoms. There was a dark side to that strategy, the paper explained, when people seeking a more powerful high than could be achieved by drinking the Tang-methadone combo instead began injecting it into their veins. Not surprisingly, the health outcomes of consuming Tang intravenously were not good. In the paper, a patient is referenced to developed medical complications after a series of such injections. Oh my God. Despite those injection-related issues, Tang was still widely used in conjunction with methadone for years after that. A 2016 paper published in Substance Abuse Treatment Prevention and Policy pointed out that in 2014, patients in the Canadian province of British Columbia were being transitioned from the oral liquid compound Tang-flavored methadone to the 10 times more concentrated cherry-flavored methadose. Oh boy. You can read the rest of this if when you'd like to. Oh my God. Oh, for God's sake. Wait a minute. Tang has more uses than just as a beverage. This caught my eye. Spring cleaning tips by lifestyle expert Elizabeth Mayhew. Mayhew offered several helpful tips, which included clearing out clogged drains with a combo of baking soda and vinegar. the fuel for countless school science fair volcanoes, and disinfecting kitchen sponges by running them through the dishwasher. Mayhew also suggested cleaning toilets by adding a teaspoon of Tang powder drink mix into the toilet bowl, advising to let the powder sit in the bowl for a few minutes and then giving it a swish before flushing. Oh my God. According to Mayhew, the citric acid in the powder acts like a scrubber. Jesus. Meanwhile, Joey Green's wacky uses for brand name products shares even more unorthodox uses for Tang. According to Green, Tang can be used to dissolve warts, clean ovens, ease hangovers, remedy bad breath, shampoo hair, and even provide temporary relief from the symptoms of nicotine withdrawal. We have not tested any of these uses, so we can't guarantee their oh my God, their effectiveness. Oh my goodness. Ooh. Jesus Christ. Okay, you guys, of course I'm going to leave this and all the other stuff I've read in the description. I didn't know about the heroin thing. I didn't know about the methadone thing. And again, this is the reason why is, you know, Kool-Aid, Tang, 7-Up, Coca-Cola. Who knew that, like, a lot of these products, basically everything except the Sanka and the Maxwell House coffee, are all of these other ones are connected to, in some way, shape, or form, like psychiatric uses. That blows my mind. That completely blows my mind. I don't know, like, is that what the hell is this down here? Is that what Stanley was pointing towards when he included these beverages? I'm still stumped about Country Time. I'm thinking it's maybe just the color of it. I don't know. And also treetop apple juice. I'm a little bit stumped. I think it's just because it reminds you of trees and apples. That's where I'm at right now with that one. I would love to read your contributions. What do you think? Your ideas, your whatever, and you know, we're gonna figure this out. We're gonna figure this freaking movie out. I can't do it alone. I can't. Like Gershom was telling me, like, no, we need a team. We need a team of, like, researchers. We need a team of researchers to put our heads together and figure this one out. I'm going to look into maybe starting a Discord. You guys let me know if that is something that you might want to do. Put it in the comments. I don't know. I'm still like I don't know. I've never used Discord. So, you know, full disclosure. But let me know, you guys. Let me know about that and anything else you want to talk about or express in the comments. What do you all think about the Coca-Cola, about the 7-Up, about the Maxwell House coffee and the Cafe Vienna and the Sanka and the Treetop apple juice and the Country Time lemonade and the Kool-Aid and the Tang? Did I miss any? I don't know. I don't know. There's a bunch of them, isn't there? Now, I've done this. I just took a sip of coffee. I've done this, and I'm wondering, like, should I do a video about the food that's featured in this movie? I think I might. Because I have questions. Where do they keep the ice cream? Where do they keep the eggs? You know, where's the milk? I didn't see any powdered milk in that dry goods room. What's going on? So you guys, we don't ever see them eating like real food, like steaks and anything like that. I mean, you know, meat and potatoes. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, food, meal food. We see cereal, and we see peanut butter jelly sandwiches, and we see, soda and coffee and stuff like that. But like, where's the food? Where's the stuff that you like sit down to a table and you need a fork and a knife and a spoon or whatever to eat it? I think I might do a food video. I really do. Anyway, I've taken up way too much of your time. I hope you enjoy this at least somewhat. Please, I'm going to reiterate my church announcements. Returning viewers, thank you for returning. New viewers, thank you for being new. Subscribers, thank you for subscribing. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share if you know somebody who might enjoy this. And until the next time, until I find yet another reason to talk at you, I think it might be Salvador Dali next time. Not sure. Or maybe a viewer mail. Or maybe a rum break. I don't know. We shall see. But until I find yet another reason to talk at you, I'm going to go ahead and bid you bye-bye. So, bye-bye, everybody.